What's up, dude?
What's up?
Today, Barrett and I are going to ship out some ammo for WYSIWYG. He had a fundraiser, and I'm sorry, I forgot exactly what it was for. I've been so busy with these other little projects. I'm having a hard time keeping up with everything. But anyway, his fundraiser actually benefited kids, which I thought was really cool. And so I was a sponsor, and one of the things I was giving away was 22 ammo and a PMag to the winner. And of course the winner got a lot more stuff than that. That's just my part of the package. So we finally got the ammo in the mail, and we're going to talk about that. Kershaw Oh So Sweet, #1 EDC knife in the world. Just saying, it's my opinion. $1,000 rounds, 22 long rifle. Oh look, there's some guys trying to escape in there. Okay, so I said I would donate 100 rounds, but I found this little box. My Pathfinder watch came in. I thought it'd be kind of cool just to, where's the top? There it is. Just to kind of fill it up and ship. We're not going to count. We're just going to be generous. Okay? I know I've already got 100 rounds in there, so we're just going to kind of fill it up. Alright, so Long Hair 13 gets the ammo and this PMag. So we'll ship that to him. Okay, you ready for a lesson in economics?
Okay.
How about a lesson in freedom? Of course, you've heard this before from me because you're my son and we talk about it a lot, but what are the concepts here we're talking about? Basically, it all boils down to freedom and the observation of nature. And what I mean by that is that we live in a free society. That's called that's where our freedom, actually our freedom is innate. We are born free men. God created us that way. That's a basic law of nature. There are other laws of nature, such as the laws of physics, and there's another one that most people commonly associate with man-made laws, and it's actually not. Well, it kind of is and kind of isn't, and that's the laws of economics. And there's a difference between laws that are created and laws that are observed. In other words, the laws that we have that are based on our Constitution are man-made. Those are created. But the laws of physics are just things that we observe in nature, so we really can't change them. I mean, let's not get wacky. I know some of you out there are going to say, yeah, we got anti-gravity machines and all. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, we don't have anti-gravity machines or time machines or whatever. Let's just say that we're common sense, everyday free people, and that basically on a day-to-day basis you can't break the laws of physics. Right? Would you agree with that? Yeah. Okay.
And so time machines don't break the laws of physics either, Dad. Theory is if you travel.
Okay, time out. We're not going there, and that's the point.
Yeah.
The whole point of not going there is that we don't live in that world.
Yeah.
You and I will never travel through time, okay, except for how we're traveling now. And see, you've already got me off the subject. The point is that there are laws of nature and there are laws that we create, okay? The laws of economics are observable, okay? They're based on human behavior. They're not, we didn't create if someone wrote the laws of economics, all they did was write down what they observed about the economics and human behavior. Okay, the whole point of that is that there are a lot of people who want to try to manipulate other people and control other people. Those people are called totalitarians. There are people who, when I start to buy ammo off of Gunbroker for, 1,000 rounds for $150, they will say I'm crazy and don't do it, and you don't need that ammo, right? I've got it. It's documented. Okay, so that's not up for debate. And there are people, as they're watching this right now, who are saying that and who are thinking that, and they have hate in their heart, and they have envy in their heart because I can afford to buy ammo at whatever price I deem that I want to pay for it. They're hateful and envious. Okay, those are sort of the laws of human behavior. And the only way you can actually take part in a free market is to release hate and envy from your psyche, which those two are mental illnesses. Hate and envy, those are forms of mental illness, and you see that a lot, especially on the internet. So just imagine yourself. You don't hate anybody, you don't envy anybody, and so when you see someone purchasing large amounts of ammo, you say you're happy for them. What have you ever? I'm at a point in my life where I have released hate and envy. I don't get upset with people who are successful, because everyone in this country has, and actually everyone in the world basically has, the right to be successful, or they have the opportunity. Now, some people don't have as much of opportunities as we have, but it's there. They may have to remove themselves from a condition that they're currently in, but it's possible. People have done it. There's all kinds of examples of people, immigrating or migrating, however you want to say it, to the U.S. and taking advantage of our free markets and have become successful. And I'm happy for those people. I'm happy for everyone who's successful. I don't envy them. I don't hate them. And that's a big problem in our country. And it always will be. Just as the poor will always be with us, the rich will always be with us, and the middle class will always be with us. Now, what you do with that is up to you. How you handle it is up to you. And you're probably wondering, what the heck are you talking about, right? Yeah. I'm kind of going back to when, back during the ammo crunch. Let's see, where am I going, Barry? Down here.
Post office.
People were irate about the fact that people were buying ammunition and then putting it on Gunbroker and places like that for high prices. Well, so what? If you cannot be happy for someone who has the ability to go out and purchase anything in a free market, that's basically, I know there's all these different, theories and blah, 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 but basically it boils down to, in a free society, you can do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. And in a free market, you can buy and sell. I can buy anything I want. I can sell anything I want at any price, period. And if you hate that, then you really need to dig deep and go inside your inner self. And I'm not I'm a monk, but I'm not your psychiatrist. So my advice is to release all that. Just release the hate, release the envy. Take a deep breath and say, you know what? People can live their lives how they want. That's the period. and just consider yourself observing the free market system, a free economy. When you see somebody paying crazy prices for ammo and hoarding or buying and selling, just be thankful that you live in a country that can take place in. Bear and I were just talking about some things. I was trying to end the video, but he brought up a point, and then I started rambling again. But we were talking about how our country didn't become successful based on the current manipulation of the markets by government. We became successful because back in the day, markets were more free and open. People created products, they bought and sold them to each other freely, and that's how our society got to the point to where it is now. If our markets were being manipulated, if our currency was being manipulated way back in the day like it is now, we wouldn't be here now. We would have already gone through a cycle of failure like we're going through now with our currency being manipulated by government. What was your problem with what I was saying?
I didn't have a problem with it, but I think there's always positives and negatives, and the negative is when the raw materials that people need to survive on, like gas and food and stuff, does become too high. But then you brought up the point that the reason that is because of government regulation on business in the first place.
Right, and that's what made me think about our current situation. Back in the day when artisans, created, I'm talking way back, 50,000, I don't know, maybe not that far, 30,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, people, I guess it wasn't that long ago, but we're talking Neanderthals or whatever. But really, if you look at that, people, you had people who realized they were better at making tools than other people. Those people became the tool makers. They became the artisans, and eventually they became the people who made the weapons. Bows and arrows and slingshots, and then there was another artisan or another Neanderthal who was better at making, wraps, clothing. And I'm sure at some point they realized that they needed to trade with each other. There were people who were better at hunting, and maybe you had people who hunted and traded meat, and that grew into that was a free market. That was the most basic example of the free market you can think of. Okay, there was no regulation, no taxation, no government manipulating whatever currency they had, which was basically bartering and trading products. That's in that raw form. It's hard to manipulate the currency, until you start creating a government and allowing them to manipulate the market. So, when you really get back to those kinds of basics, you really start to realize how convoluted it has become, and if we didn't have government manipulating our currency like we do now with, printing money whenever they needed it. I was giving Barrett the example, the analogy of Monopoly, the game of Monopoly. When you win the game of Monopoly, you're left with all the money in the bank, right? You've collected all the money, and then you start to put the game up, and you look at the money and you say, this money really is worthless. It's not worth anything, right? Uh-huh. That's what happens in our economy when government regulates or manipulates the currency. When they print so much of it for their government spending abilities, there's so much currency in the system, it becomes worthless at some point, And so at some point people are going to look, and the world is already starting to say to the United States, your currency is starting to be worthless. The fact that the dollar is the world's reserve currency right now is under attack by other countries. China is saying, no, we don't want the dollar as the reserve currency. Other countries, you got them saying, no, we're not going to accept dollars for this or that. We're not like, Iran or some countries not accepting dollars for oil, or I don't know. That's something I read, but maybe that's not true. But eventually that will happen. The dollar will not be the dominant currency eventually.
So just keep raising the debt ceiling over and over again.
Yeah, the government keeps raising the amount of money, raising the limit on the amount of money that they can print. And anyway, this video is getting really long, but you see how dynamic it is, the markets, free markets can be, or manipulated markets. And so anyway, we're going to go in here and mail this, and appreciate everybody for watching. I think the people at UPS think we're nuts. We're sitting out here in the truck.
We're free though.
We're free men. We're free videoers. Nice.